E hoka taku manu ki te tihi o aoraki whātare ana te titiro ki te awa a rakahuri, e rere atu, e rere mai. Kia waitaki anō hoki, ki taku waka e tere mai ana tā ki timu ki runga, tā ki timu ki raro, tā ki timu ki tai, ki utai. Tau ana taku manu ki te tumu kuku, te pāhara keke taku pi toka e. Māhunui te tuarua, te whare whakaruru hau, ngai tuahuriri, ngā tira ki Amua, ngā hapu, ngai tahu, te iwi, tēnei rā, te mihi nui ki a koutou katoa. E mihi ana ki te komiti whakahaere, mō koutou i pōhiri mai ki tēnei manu pi karere, ki te whakawhānui e tahi whakaaro, e pāna ki tēnei mea te rangatiratanga o te wahine. Me te whakahirahira hoki o tērā kaupapa, e tino ngā kau nui ana hau ki tēnā kaupapa no reira tēnā koutou, o tira ngā rangatira, o ngā waka, o ngā iwi, o ngā marae putanua i Aotearoa, tēnā rā koutou katoa. My name is Hana Skerrett White, and I hail from Ngaitahu, Tainui in Te Arawa on my mum's side, and I hail from Taranaki on my dad's side. I'm a teacher, recently appointed as the tumuaki for Te Akatoki, which is the Māori Student Association. Yes, ka tika te reo kōrero, my passions are who I am really, is everything to do with my Māoritanga. Taku reo, ngā mātauranga, ngā tikanga e rāhuatanga katoa. So I'm going to go a bit of a out of the box strategy here, but ko tāku, he kapo atu i ngā kōrero a te kuia Eva Rickard. So it was Eva Rickard that said, and she was one of the kuia that was a very staunch Māori woman leader and activist in her time, one of the founding members of the Wakatū Corporation, and she said, quote, "Somewhere in my past is my destiny." And so I've used that whakatauki, that quote, I've used that to guide me in this discussion. And so I will be taking you on a journey into my past to uncover, to unmask some of the leadership qualities that exist within my whānau, within my tipuna. And I will also be looking at the transmission of those leadership qualities, those values, tō tātou reo, mātauranga, the intergenerational transmission from one whakatipuranga to the next. Ka pai, we'll start with my great-great-grandmother. Ka taraina te rumahue, Hona, hails from Ngāti Rongomai and Ngāti Pikiao. She was a weaver of people, beautiful native speaker of te reo Māori, so a weaver of language, a weaver of people. And it was my tupuna that was the mastermind, or it was Nāna te whakaaro. It was her idea to establish Taurua Pā, te rangi unora, te whare, the meeting house that is behind my nephew there. And the whakaaro behind it was that it was a place to weave together people, bring people together, kia whakahuihui ai ngā uri whakaheke. Unfortunately, she died just before the opening of it, but that's her legacy, because it's our whare, and it is a place that we often gather. Nō reira, e mihi ana. If we look at, I know my tuakana Sash talked about rangatira, and we look at the breakdown of that kupu, he ranga, to weave, te tira, a group of people, te tira tangata. Nō reira, e mihi ana ki tērā whakaaro, kia koe hoki, taku tuakana, and this here, my kuia here, was the example in my whakapapa, the example of just that. Nō reira, te mea tuarua. So this is my great-grandmother, and also my namesake, Raiha Sargent. That's Priki, over there. Mihi ana, it was puku out. So mihi ana ki taku teina, kua hara mai ki te tautoko. So my nan was, I was fortunate enough to have known my nan in my lifetime. She was in her 90s when she died. Very strong woman. She was one of the founding members of the Māori Women's Welfare League, And her leadership approach was more the hands-on approach. She was very much a servant of her people, engaged in what was happening in communities and whānau, at the whānau level. So she was, known for, taking kai around to, to so-and-so's whare, be taking clothes over there. She was a bit of a hoarder because she knew that there was a place for everything. She could find a place for everything. So that was my kuia. Very passionate about people, very passionate about her iwi and to uplift the Māori of te iwi Māori. She was also a staunch advocate of the Māori language movement, because even in her time, she could see some of the damaging effects of colonisation on her people, on her whānau. So she was, on one hand, working at that level, trying to dismantle, if you like, some of those colonial structures, but also working at the grassroots level, to uplift the Māori of our iwi. So she was the one that said, and I quote her on this, "Ko taku hia, kia hoki ngā tamariki ki te ako i te reo Māori, kia hoki mai te mana o rātou tipuna ki a rātou." So it was quite a radical whakaaro, back then. Even now it's a radical whakaaro, but I feel that my kuia here was very much ahead of her time. So what she's saying there is that all Māori children in this country, all children in this country, in fact, should be learning te reo Māori, because that is giving you access to te ao Māori, mātauranga, tikanga Māori, and through that journey, you are uncovering what it is to be who you are, and that way the mana of your ancestors will always be alive. Nō reira, e mihi ana ki tēnā whakaaro. So to my nanny, Emily Jemima Skerrett, so she married a Skerrett from Bluff. He also has his connections here to te pātaka o Rākai Hautu, ngai tuahuriri. So mihi ana ki my paua, he was a staunch mutton birder. But my nanny was the real, she was the real boss of that whare. So raising children in the 50s and the 60s, in the face of adversity, in the face of urbanisation, moving from city to city, mum, and then they were brought up in like Dunedin. I think mum was born in Dunedin, and then you had, they lived in Auckland, and they were just, from city to city. But Nan always, she really made sure that mum and all her siblings, that they knew who they were and where they were from. So she was, Paua was always taking them mutton birding or back to Te Roto Iti, and keeping those home fires burning. So she was a woman of a few words, but whatever she did say had a lot of impact. So she was the whakatinanatanga, or the embodiment of the leadership quality that I feel is a very important quality, which is humility, te whakaiti. In fact, ko te pono, ko te whakaiti, those are the pillars of leadership in the teachings that I've had throughout my lifetime. Being true to who you are, te pono, me te whakaiti. Which is humility. So that's my nanny. And then the next one is, this was taken at the Māori Women's Welfare League conference, 1958. My mum is the baby, looking like Little Red Riding Hood over here, and her siblings. So you can see about 4 generations, I think, Tahihua Toruwha, and it's just a beautiful shot, really. So these kuia here, first cousins to my grandmother, and they were integral in the establishment of Te Wānanga o Raukawa. So they're the Kereamas, yes, closely related. Yes, next one. So ko taku māma. So as a practitioner for many, many years in kohanga reo, mum has always, Sasha talked about kaupapa, ko te kaupapa te tuatahi. Mum's kaupapa has always been about te reo, and kia whakahokia te reo ki ngā waha o ngā tamariki Māori. So she dedicated and is still dedicating her life to the Tino Rangatiratanga movement and the language revitalisation movement. So she started Te Amokura Kohanga Reo, which is our home-based Kohanga Reo, really cool for us growing up because we had our mates come over every day and sometimes they would stay for weeks, which was really cool. Yes, and that kaupapa, through Te Kohanga Reo o Te Amokura, there have been many lifelong relationships, people weaving and whānau weaving, and you know, it's just was an incredible journey. And so Mum attributes a lot of, you know, her mahi to the Kohanga Reo movement, and she was very, very much involved with that kaupapa. Mum was always part of what, you know, us growing up and being involved in the Kohanga Reo movement. Mum would always take us on hikoi, on marches, whether it was for the foreshore seabed, whether it was, you know, I think there were some fiscal envelope marches there. There were some funding cuts for Kohanga Reo marches that, you know, Mum would organise, and there were all sorts of things that we would be organising, and there were these little but significant acts of resistance that we grew up knowing the why factor, the importance of the why, and I think that was what was quite tuia ki te whatu manawa, eh? It's really cemented when you know that it's not just something that, you know, it was a struggle, you know. And it's important to understand that and to be a part of that as well, and not to just take things for granted. Because I see my generation as being the hua of Kohanga Reo, kura kaupapa, whare kura. We were the ones that sort of reaped the benefits, but sometimes, you know, we can become a little bit, I guess, take it all for granted. But you know, it is important to know all that history. So e mihi ana, taku whaia. And the next one is, the next slide is, this was one of the marches that we went on for the Kohanga Reo. I think there were some funding cuts there, so Mum rallied up a few troops and away we went. So this was taken quite a while back, because my brother's 32 now, and that's him there. I don't know if you guys watch Kapahaka, but that fella's from Te Mātārai Orehu. So, so, and there's a few Kohanga Reo babies and kura babies who are all grown up now. We're all in our 20s and 30s now, so e mihi ana ki ngā reanga o te Kohanga Reo. And this is a quote from my mum. I actually asked her, I said, Mum, if there's one quote that you can give me that encapsulates your, you know, your tino passion, she says, she sends back this email and it was like a thesis, and I was like, oh goodness, Mum, just one quote. So this was her. Māori language is central to the freedom thinking needed to dismantle colonial architecture, disrupt colonial rule and disturb colonial expansion. Woo! So yes, Mum, out of all my, you know, the manukura that you can see through the generations, Mum's definitely the one with the Tino Rangatiratanga, you know, flag that's staunch advocate for the movement. Alright, next one. And back to our queer here and her whakaaro. And actually, you know, linking in with what Sasha said, the whole point of me, you know, taking you on a journey into my whakapapa is to actually, you know, say I am not just a random isolate. I'm not, and I am who I am because of my whakapapa, you know, because of my whakapapa. And I think that's really, really important, because leadership, you know, is something that can be transmitted through the generations. So we've got, that was it. I think 2006 was the Human Rights March for the Indigenous rights. Sorry, I was overseas, but that's Mum and them over there marching for that kaupapa. And the top one, I think, is is the same at the same march. So yeah, I thought I'd just put those pictures in there. Yep, next one. So yep, this is me. One thing that I thought that I could contribute to, this discussion is about te reo o te karanga, te reo o te wahine. So we know that te reo o te wahine, ko tērā te reo tuatahi o te marae, e rangona ana i te marae, e rangona ana i te marae. So it's so important that that reo, because it is the only reo that can transcend through the spiritual realms to this ao kiko, this physical realm. It is a very, very special and unique voice, and it has a very special job. And through our histories, our voices have been, they have been muted at times, but I think it's always important, and I really love that if this is an opportunity to really whakamana that reo, and so that's my passion, that's my way of looking at it. And through my mahi as a kaiako in mātauranga is more of the same work that my mum has laid down, and my kuia before me. They've laid down that huarahi, and I'm just carrying it on, part of that journey that they've already set out. Yeah. So the last one, aroha mai, going on a little bit here, is because I've just spent, a couple of days watching Matatini, ultimate distraction. Gosh, I just want to acknowledge te wakahuia, want to acknowledge Pimia Wehi, because I thought that she was absolutely the embodiment of what I am trying to get across today. When you see her up there leading her kapa, and she's wearing the manukura wahine korowai, which is the leadership korowai, and she dedicated that korowai to her whānau, and I thought, yes, and that's the whole thing, that's what it's about, that she's up there, she represents who she is. She represents everything and everybody that has gone before her. And so the whole bracket was attributed to the late Korongāpō Wehi, and all the teachings that he's left behind. But, I see her and I see how authentic, she is, and I just think, oh my goodness, they're still alive through you. And it's really, really amazing. And so, last but not least, and she is, to me, the embodiment of this. That leadership isn't singular. It's ki mua, ki muri, ki ngā tahataha, and it's about that distribution of mana, and distribution of leadership. That's what rangatiratanga is. No reira, I runga I tērā, ka mātua pia I tērā, ngā kōrero mihi ana ki ngā tūpuna, kua ngaro atu I te tirohanga kanohi, o tira ki a tātou, kua tau mai tēnei pō, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa.